Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joji Movie So Awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm One Jin.
Today we're going to talk about House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 2.
The second episode.
Spoilers. You
Major
have
spoilers.
been warned. If you have not watched the episode, please come back later. And we're going to start now. You know, One Jin, after watching this episode, I kind of understand the Targaryen mentality now. They're very, very quick-tempered, all of them, first of all.
Okay.
And they're very, very honest.
Uh-huh.
And you know, in this world, in this political intrigue, being able to be honest is a power move.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this episode was really interesting in that it showed a lot of vulnerability to the Targaryens themselves, too. I mean, not just Daemon's behavior, but one of my two favorite scenes was Rhaenyra talking with Rhaenys. And I love how they're polite in the begging. What do you think? And
But it quickly turns out into this fuck you
yeah,
moment.
That's a Targaryen temper right there. What about you? Huh? Do you like your daughter? You're pimping your daughter out? Fuck no! But, you know, and then Daemon is obviously a true Targaryen.
I guess he is the quintessential Targaryen among them.
Yeah.
Based on what you describe about the Targaryens. I
know it's up to interpretation, but I also saw Viserys as a Targaryen. I saw him as a Targaryen that is really repressing himself a little because.
And I liked about how the show depicted Viserys in the second episode, because you talked about this last time, but he has a lot of king-worthy qualities, and you can also continue to see those qualities being shown in this episode. I
know what you're gonna say. My favorite scene was him and Lionel Strong talking. So I need an unencumbered opinion, and then I like that Lionel Strong character because he seemed. I mean, we have a lot of episodes to go. But he seemed like a Tyrion without the insecurities.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah, because
I never thought about that, but now that you say it, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, because he was very direct and to the point. And his advice, well, I mean, it's up to interpretation, because I love how they filmed it, because he says, proud men don't like to look up, but he's looking up at the king. So one thing we learned from Game of Thrones is we need to watch a lot of episodes until we can judge someone.
Yeah.
But at least at that moment, he felt like a true counselor. Because I don't trust that Maester motherfucker. Because I feel like he's doing that double dipping shit where...
And this is also a parallel to the Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
because we remember, what's his name? Maester, what was his name? Pycelle. Yeah, that guy was, unlike what he seems from the outside, he was very conniving.
Yeah, but here... in the first episode, I thought the Maester was just giving honest counsel, but here he keeps the eye contact with the hand, and I felt like he was intentionally saying something that in
the favor. Of
I'm not sure yet, but that was the vibe I got. He was trying to double fuck him.
So, like you said, we need to watch a little more episodes to see how this political dynamics is truly structured, but
we do definitely get a division near the end, though, because the Hand and her daughter and the King faction is definitely, I think there's a tension building with Daemon, because Corlys Velaryon was a very interesting character for me, because he's one of my favorite characters now, because the actor, that guy was in Snatch or something.
Really?
I don't know, he plays a lot of different roles, but here he definitely. He was very charismatic to me. He was I think Jaime would want to become somebody like that. In that, yes, you could argue that he's proud, but he dithers on that line. And then I think I love Lionel Strong, where he made a fair play in a man of his position, and I think that's actually accurate description. And I love his charisma. This is absurdity.
And I like the fact that this shows the power dynamics of these houses, because I mean, when we hear the word king, it sounds almighty.
Yeah.
But based on history and the feudal days, king is not almighty. There's this delicate line of power between the houses. I mean, these lords and the king. So in this case, what's his name?
Corlys Velaryon.
Yeah, Velaryon.
Sea Snake.
The Sea Snake. He clearly knows the cards he holds.
Yeah. No, but I agree with Lionel strong. Like, cause compare his behavior to Daemon's. Like Daemon's like. Let's call it a proposition just for like comparison's sake. It's ridiculous. Like if I'm the king and someone says, first of all, fuck you, and then fuck you too, and then fuck you, like if you're king, like of course you're like okay. Yeah, like it's like it was. I was surprised at that scene because like. First season, I did get the impression that Daemon was a hothead, but I didn't know he could like stoop to such childlike behavior. Like it's almost like he's like a rebel teenager behavior.
Yeah, you know how teenagers and kids,
Yeah.
when they don't get the recognition for being good, they usually try something bad to get the attention.
Yeah.
This is what I saw from Daemon.
Yeah, because like his proposition is like. If you're the king, it's something you cannot say yes whatsoever. First of all, I'm your heir. I just told you you're not my heir. First, and then I'm gonna remarry because like in this family, like it's like basically like a Christian behavior. Like Targaryens used to have multiple wives, but they can't. So it's just like a intentional fuck you.
You know, if I were Viserys, if I had received that letter, the first thing I would ask myself is, Daemon wrote this? He wrote this?
No,
are you sure?
No, but I like that Viserys already knows that his brother is fucking him over. But what's ironic about Daemon, from this episode alone, by the way, we got 8 more to go, but you say your brother is a weak king, yet you work actively to undermine his authority like that. Like, you say your brother is surrounded by leeches, but your behavior is actually, like, helping that.
Yeah.
Like, who would respect a king that lets a rebel, like nearly rebellion?
Yeah, pretty much getting ridiculed by his own brother.
Yeah, and you're doing that. And then I love. Okay, first of all, we have to talk about the dragon confrontation. I fucking loved it. I love that Craxy's dragon scream. It's like I think.
You know, last episode you mentioned that. Well, I think it's just what we talked about when we first saw the trailer. In general, that the dragon kind of reflects the writer's character. And the scream that the dragon was making was also somewhat resembling, I think.
No, it was very disturbing.
Daemon's character, yeah.
I was surprised at how high pitched it was. And it's like it's a terrifying sound. It's different from Drogon from Game of Thrones. Drogon's was more authority. Here it's like I imagine like serial killers like listening to that tape for hours on end, like
it's kind of sinister.
Yeah, very sinister. But I did love the moment that we love this in Game of Thrones, how the dragon immediately hey daddy, is everything alright? What the fuck is going on? And then goon goon goon.
It's as if their minds are connected.
Yeah, definitely a connection.
Because we see that happen with Daenerys and Drogon.
Yeah.
When she's in trouble, he shows up.
Yeah, they're very in tune with each other. We don't know if it's a telekinesis thing.
Yeah, it's like telepathic distress call.
Almost. Or I suspect that they just have good hearing, like like elephants can hear miles away,
like Superman.
Yeah, so they hear. Yeah, exactly, because they can hear their dad angry.
They're eavesdropping in every conversation.
Yeah, like dogs, because dogs have better ear than us. You have to assume that dragons have like magnificent hearing. So as soon as he hears his father behave in a certain way, he's like, "What the fuck's up?
Something's wrong."
Yeah, what's up? But I also I'm pretty sure this is a lot of people's favorite scene, but. Rhaenyra's dragon in the cloud. Like a fucking submarine. That was some Moby Dick shit. I was like, that was so well filmed. And then she stomps down. But I also love. I assume that the dragons kind of know each other too. Yeah. But because Craxy's just look at it, and then I love Rhaenyra. Like that scene was my favorite scene when she confronts her uncle. Because it was such a show of strength and vulnerability. The actress, when she says it, she's tough. Yeah, we get it. But she's also a little hesitant. But Daemon looks at her, and I could tell, he's like, you're a fucking Targaryen. Fuck yeah. Here you go.
Ah, yes, my niece.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, but I just can't show it to you right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love you, niece. Fire and blood, baby. Tell that to your dad too. He's forgetting about that. You can tell like Targaryens definitely respect that temper. Yeah.
And that demonstration of strength.
I also love Daemon like making fun of Christian Cole. So crispy is it? But I love that. I still don't trust him entirely, but I love his comeback. He's like, yeah, you remember I beat the fuck out of you?
Remember when it knocked you out?
Yeah, but I like Damon's reaction. It shows how much of a bad boy he is. Like he's like, yeah, that's right. Like he's like, you know. But my favorite guy in that scene was the Lord Commander.
Oh yes, that's the actor I like.
Yeah.
The one I mentioned last time.
But
I just didn't realize that he was the Lord Commander.
Because there's two shots of him. As soon as the hand says, the king would never indulge in just murmur farce, he makes his face like, I love this face acting. It was basically like, oh shit, am I going to die over this bullshit? I served the realm with honor, and I'm about to get killed by two guys doing a dick contest. And then like the hand escalates it, which I think is like, after watching the full episode, you do get a sense that the hand is intentionally doing that though. Like I feel like he's, because the Maester scene and the hand talking like that, I definitely get the vibe. And then they kind of made it obvious when he kind of smiles at like Corlys Velaryon when the king like announces that I'm gonna marry Alicent Hightower. Like it was like obviously from his like plan from the start to isolate maybe Daemon. Also isolate Corlys Velaryon. And I just felt like that this ending show like the full consequence will be really, really heavy.
But you know, based on what we learned from Game of Thrones, there's so many things are just unpredictable.
Right.
So we clearly, so far from these two episodes, we've seen Alicent Hightower under tremendous stress.
Oh, that's a good point.
And I'm pretty sure that at some point she's gonna crack under that pressure, and things will not go as what's his name, Lord Hightower planned.
You know, but you speak of that. We're gonna get into that because that's also one of the best parts about this episode is. I love how it defies interpretation, just like Better Call Saul. And I think the writers and the creators are definitely benefiting from having Game of Thrones and then upgrading it. Because like Game of Thrones season 1 for me, I mean, it had some subtleties, but it was more of a murder mystery and some twists. But here, there are just so many scenes that everybody will interpret differently. For example, you mentioned Alicent Hightower. I can't tell if she genuinely loves the king now. Like, you know, but they always show the hand for a slight moment. But you could argue that his like fixing the Velaryon dragon thing was a genuine act of kindness. And that also made me understand Viserys' choice too, though. Though it was wrong, like pragmatically possibly. But you could tell like because if you're a king and you're surrounded by people who claims they know all the answers. I think if you're a king, you'd be like, fuck all of y'all. Fuck you. And then I this was just my interpretation. I felt like Viserys is saying, what do I have about my own? Like, what about my happiness, motherfuckers? First of all, my brother...
You want me to marry a 12-year-old?
Yeah. No, but Alicent's no better. She's like 14 or 15. But what I'm trying to say is I felt like Viserys... Like especially that model house thing, it's a behavior of, I think somebody who feels like he doesn't have something of his own, like like marred by responsibility. Like a king, I feel like a king can feel very isolated. Obviously, it shows in the show, but it also like beggars the question of like what like he has it for himself. Where's this slice of happiness? And then we already know it's gonna escalate because. His daughter says "fuck you." His strongest vassal says "fuck you." This is absurdity. His brother's over there saying "fuck you, fuck you, fuck you," and then I got the vibe that Viserys is no fool, like his cousin says. You can tell he doesn't trust the hand either. Like, because after the meeting, he goes to Lionel Strong. That's a behavior of somebody who knows that there is a certain manipulation going on. And that was just so brilliantly done. That like, it's already like, if episode 1 didn't show it, episode 2 showed that this is going to be a tragedy for a lot of people. A lot of people. And the sad thing about Lord Hightower, like that hand is, I feel like his ambition is making himself a lot of enemies.
That's true. Now he's turning
Corlys
the sea snake against him,
like directly now.
Yeah,
it's not even a tension thing like episode before. It's like a direct opposition now. Like, you can't imagine Corlys Velaryon ever shaking hands with that man. But that makes me interested on what the other like small council members do now, especially Lionel Strong. Him and that Beesbury guy, that Lord of Finance guy. I love that grandpa guy. He's like, oh Jesus, oh my God, what the fuck? He's like, I feel like he's like a fit in for us. Like, he seems like, at least for now.
Because if you think about Game of Thrones, all those people who participated in the small council, they all had their own agenda. Remember, what's the dude's name? The bald guy.
Varys.
Oh, Varys, that's right. There were some very interesting characters.
No, but you make a good point though. Like, everybody has their agenda, but their agenda, some of them are self-serving, and some of them, like Varys, you could argue isn't. Like, he's basically like a Mike kind of character, like where moral ambiguity at its fullest. He's doing evil things for the greater good, or at least he believes so. He believes so, and that's very fascinating because here, I think we're definitely seeing each character having their very strong own belief.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how many episodes this season's going to have, but I hope we see a lot of these characters in the small council get developed.
Yeah. I think they're doing that episode by episode, though, because this episode made me like know more about Corlys Velaryon and his wife, too.
And this episode also made me curious about that Crabfeeder guy.
Yeah!
That was some disturbing stuff, because I know for a fact that if you put like a pork belly where crabs reside, they will all come out and feast on that stuff. They love meat.
That was disgusting.
Yeah.
Like our intro scene where I thought he was dead, but
he's still alive. He's twitching, and you can see the crabs like eating his flesh.
You know, I'm never gonna feel sorry for eating crabs after that. Like, seriously, no, I'm gonna eat a lot of crabs. I'm gonna enjoy it. But what was like? I thought he was like It was kind of surprised how much like attention that guy got though. And then at the end, like his shot and Daemon's shot, like. So I first assumed that he was some kind of like Targaryen hater, like because you have to assume that Targaryen like hurt a lot of people. But it turns out like he's not burned or anything. That's like I saw what's the HBO documentary that every time they released the episode, I saw the inside the episode. Yeah. And then like one of the
behind the scenes kind of thing?
Yeah. One of the creators said that's Grayscale, the one that Jorah had.
Oh, that disease.
Yeah, that makes
like
you
getting grabbed by those weird dudes, and then it starts to spread.
Yeah, Stannis' daughter had it. And I guess that's like the explanation for his like odd behavior of like torturing people. But that did make me wonder about like why he's getting so much like attention though. I think it's a foil. I mean not a foil, but like a red herring. I think that war is gonna like whatever like Corlys' war is gonna end really quickly, and then we're gonna go to the main event.
Yeah, just like what we saw with Nacho.
Yeah.
in the last season.
Oh, that's such a I totally agree with you. I feel like the Nacho thing, it's gonna be over with, and then we're gonna get like a lot of time jumps too.
Yeah,
I think because Alicent is gonna be very fertile, like ironically, and I think we're gonna see more Targaryen babies, and it's gonna be really weird.
And you said that you can tell that this is gonna end tragically. Yeah. And I think as one of the tragedies, I believe that Rhaenyra will eventually kill Alicent.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, she's gonna bear like a child. It's gonna be a son, and she's gonna kill him.
I mean, I think gloves are gonna get off really quickly, like because it's already escalating really quickly. And Corlys Velaryon's like proposition to Daemon is interesting because you have to ask yourself, like, don't they require the king's permission though? And then at least the season 3 trailer shows them at war, like that 1-minute trailer like HBO always shows.
Oh, you mean the episode 3?
Yeah, next episode. So that's interesting though, like how that's gonna play out. And Daemon gets glory, and Daemon's end goal is really unclear too. Like,
so what does he want?
Like, I think Viserys had the answer in episode 1. He has ambition, and then he doesn't say anything more.
But he doesn't want the throne.
Yeah, but I think it's some kind of legacy thing. Like, because I think every Targaryen is just innately ambitious. Because, they come, like, because Viserys is also burdened by that legacy. Because you could tell that his forefathers, like, empire, their conquest, their dragons are all burdens to the king. Because he worships their old, like, empire, which ironically has collapsed because of hubris. And here it's like, will history repeat itself? But I think I love Daemon's girlfriend putting Daemon in his place too. Like, fuck you, man. Like,
you told her that we're gonna get married.
What the fuck? Yeah, fuck you. First of all, I love that line though. Like, free, and then Daemon asks from what? And fear. It just goes to show like the difference between a Targaryen and a normal person. Like, because Daemon was just so obsessed with him, and Daemon is really interesting because he keeps saying the way he talks. Though he makes fun of his brother, you could tell that he only considers Targaryens equal. Like, that's the interpretation I got. There's like a strong, especially Daemon, a strong, deep-rooted belief that, like, I'm talking to my brother. Like, you peasants, get the fuck away from this. And then even to Corlys Velaryon, like, I love his weird line. I didn't know you had a king for a brother. So I'm like, I was just like, I wanted to like pause it and say, are you proud of your brother, or what the fuck is going on? Like, his very, very complex belief of his bloodline.
That's interesting, because when Sea Snake says that, I was like, okay, so these guys, they subconsciously have this belief that, they innately have some sort of superiority over the others, even though his brother doesn't hold any positions. It's like, do you have a king for a brother?
Yeah. No, and Corlys Velaryon was really whoever wrote that dialogue was really smart, because Corlys Velaryon says some say even older than the Targaryens, our family, according to some text. He intentionally put that line in there because he's in front of Daemon, and then like you could tell just from the Matt Smith's face acting, like, whatever, like, hurry up, worm.
He's like, you think your family's special?
Yeah. But we do get a strong sense that they're gonna make strong allies though, because Corlys have just lost like his connection to be able to marry his daughter to the king, right? So who is his next logical target to intermarry? Daemon or Rhaenyra. Like, if you're an ambitious man, then you go for the next best thing, and then the king has a daughter and a brother. And I don't know, like some scenarios, I think it could be like because Daemon can get a divorce and maybe remarry one of the Viserion.
Yeah, and it's obvious that he hates his current wife.
Yeah. He makes it obvious. Bronze bitch, was it in season 1? That's a very interesting to say about your wife in front of the public.
So again, right there, honesty.
Yeah. But Lord Velaryon, like, the family is interesting because he has a daughter and a son, which means he's gonna marry his daughter to Daemon and then marry his son to Rhaenyra. So it's like a perfect match thing. I think a lot of people will expect that though, because there's no way he. I got the impression that Corlys Velaryon is not a man who gives up, unlike Viserys, who gives up really quickly.
So we can clearly see that this is a man of true ambition.
I love the actor did it though. Like, I don't know if it's his posture, but he's definitely convincing me that this is a powerful man.
And we got to give props to the script writers. Like you said, we have very good dialogues.
Very good dialogue.
After the first episode, we still have very good lines.
Yeah.
Throughout the series.
Very sympathetic characters. But I do want you know what, ironically though, I want to know more about the Hand of the King, because we're seeing him in some limited scenes with his daughter and like public scenes, but I do want to get into his head though, like Tywin.
That's right.
Yeah, because Tywin had a lot of scenes with his immediate family that kind of showed us what kind of beliefs he actually has.
And I think it's a little different from Tywin this time because Tywin, compared to the Lord Hightower, he had a lot more charisma. And although he seemed loyal to the throne, we could also see that he was very ambitious. And after, like a few episodes and few seasons, we can kind of see that although he doesn't wear the crown, he's practically the king.
The uncrowned king.
Yeah.
Right?
But with the Lord Hightower, I don't get that vibe.
No, but I think there's a big difference though, because I think war actually shows the true color of people in this series. But the thing about the advantage of Tywin is, we already know from Game of Thrones, like in the past, he was already handed the king to the Mad King. So here's a man who knows how to rule, but also how to win a war. So like he's like a triple star general basically. But I could argue that Tywin also soured his own demise because of the way he treated his children. Like, cause I think Jaime was the nicest guy, cause like I think Jaime loved his father most out of his like siblings, but he also loved his brother.
That's true.
So Jaime is just generally like a nice guy within the family.
He was the nicest guy within the family, like you say.
Among themselves, though. Like, before his hand was cut off, he treated everybody like shit. But, like, the way Cersei and Tyrion acts is sort of a direct response to Tywin. And I do feel like Alicent and the Hightower hand will have that scene later. Because I think, imagine if you're the queen. And if you're the queen and your daddy keeps whispering in your ear, I think the queen wants to say, fuck off.
Eventually, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the queen, bitch. Like, and I do hope, I do wonder if Alicent's going to take a more prominent role, though, because Viserys, I think, like, somebody like Alicent Hightower can take advantage of that. And then I do think she's even going to be more powerful than her, like, dad. That's the scene, because Cersei does that, too. And fails, of course, because, like, she doesn't have the chance to fully do it because Tyrion kills him. But I don't know. I do see, like, I don't see a happy ending for the Hand of the King. Because, like, he's just made a lot of enemies. I don't think, like, his family, I don't know, not exactly. We don't know his relationship with the brother, right?
That's true.
Because you know what's funny, though? Hand of the King and Daemon has two same qualities. They're both second sons. I just didn't realize that until episode 1 and episode 2. Because episode 1, remember, Daemon says he's a second son with nothing to inherit, right? And this episode, like Corlys Velaryon says, we're second sons. I think Corlys means that the Velaryon family is second to the Targaryens. So that's secondary. But Daemon is also the second of his name. And the Hand of the King is also second of his name. I find that fascinating because there are more similarities between these men than they think. Especially against Hand of the King and Corlys Velaryon and Daemon.
That's a very interesting observation.
Yeah. I mean, that makes Hand of the King kind of... That's why in the next episode or the next episode, like next, I want to hear some monologue about the Hand's motivation, like from himself, though. Because we get a lot of that from Tywin. Because Tywin basically says, I want to make a 1,000-year empire. And you remember in season 1?
Yeah.
He slaps Jaime in the head and says... We can either make a dynasty that will last for 1,000 years, or fade away like the Targaryens did. I mean, he's a very here's a man whose goal is very clear, imperial ambition. But
with Hightower, we still have a lot to see. We'll have to see what he truly thinks in his head. So maybe a couple more episodes. It's gonna give us a hint.
I think it's coming because, according to the trailer for episode 3, Alicent Hightower is going to have a daughter. I mean, a child, and that's gonna cause a lot of tension between her and her ex-friend or the current heir, Rhaenyra. I love the actress though. I love both actresses. Like Alicent Hightower plays such a terrified yet
innocent. fragile role.
Yeah, how did you interpret? I felt like she kind of really either loved the king or really likes him. I feel like they're very similar people.
Mm-hmm. I think she has exceptional empathy towards other people. Right. Unlike Cersei, who's a complete sociopath.
Arguably so.
Yeah, because, like the way she mentions her own loss and trying to empathize with the king, I thought that was exceptional.
But we don't know whether that was from the order of the king, because the king says something similar here, remember? I lost my wife too. And he tries to steer Viserys while his hand is rotting away. Like, try to emphasize. But for me, the last smirk he does to Corlys Velaryon, I wish they didn't do that. I wish he just put a stern face,
like a more mystical look,
a neutral face. But that was definitely like a fuck you.
I win.
win.
You tried to pimp your daughter out?
I pimped my daughter first.
I think I pimped my daughter a little better.
Oh man, the way you put it, now that you know that didn't even occur to me after I saw the show. I only realized that I don't know, because it made sense to me, because I knew that Viserys wasn't gonna sleep with the kid right away. They're gonna wait for her to grow up. Yeah, but that's gonna come back to him, isn't it? I don't know, but I another thing I do want to see is more dragons now.
Yeah,
I want to see different kinds of dragons, because they keep mentioning these dragons, like Vhagar, and that shit was funny. I love how Viserys said, "Oh, we don't know where he is. He's the world's most dangerous weapon."
And we can clearly see that this is a foreshadow. That dragon will eventually turn out. Yeah. It's gonna show up in the most unexpected moment.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and it's gonna wreak havoc.
Like Drogon in season 5, right?
Yeah.
When he rescues Daenerys from the Colosseum.
From the harpies.
Yeah.
But with steroids.
Yeah.
Because remember, these dragons continue growing until they die. So imagine how massive this dragon must be.
Hey, now that you bring that up, that would be so interesting if that big dragon Vhagar comes back and she chooses her master among the Targaryens. Because I would also love to see that. Because something that's not really properly explained in Game of Thrones is the exact nature of the bond between Targaryens and dragons. But this is my theory, Wenjin. I feel like the egg thing is really important. I feel like, you know how Daemon says, I want to put the egg near my baby,
the baby's
right?
cradle, yeah.
But in Game of Thrones, it's kind of implied that the sacrifice of the blood and the fire makes the dragon born. But I think a Targaryen needs to be close to a dragon egg for the egg to be born. I think the vicinity thing is really important. I think a dormant egg will actually wake up if they are near a Targaryen. Maybe.
And they have that bond. The moment they're born.
Yeah. Because we don't know the name. Maybe they'll never explain it though. Sometimes the mystery is good, but I love how she's interested in the dragon though. She's definitely a Targaryen, isn't she?
Yeah.
Her mother is a Targaryen.
She's 12 years old and she's asking all these questions what was Velaryon like when you were writing it?
No, but she gave me a lot of Arya vibes.
Oh, that's true.
Because Arya was like that when she was 12 or something. She had asked a lot of. She kept talking about Nymeria. I think that's the first Dornish princess to land in Westeros, and warrior, dark sister.
She loved her dire wolf.
Yeah. I would love that. I would love to see some female warrior shit here, because that's awesome. Imagine if Arya could have rode that dire wolf. That would have been awesome.
That would be some what's it called? The Princess Mononoke moment there.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. You know what? Now that you bring that up, I do... This is a fantasy, right? If this peak magic... I would love to see other kind of fantastical creatures, though. I would love if the Triarchy has their own beast.
like Kraken or something.
Yeah, giant
like giant squid.
Giant crab comes out of the ocean, and the Crabfeeder.
Oh shit! Just like the one we saw from Aquaman.
Yeah, kaiju.
The giant crab.
Yeah, and it shoots like poison to the dragon. Yeah, that would be like. I'm not joking, by the way. It's kind of joking, but I would love to see some other animals too.
I hope they have the budget for it.
Yeah, because if there's a dragon, why can't there be other like a centaur or minotaur or something? It makes sense.
You thought dragons brought the end of Valyria? Guess again.
Yeah,
it was this guy.
Yeah, because I love the fact that the enemy is like Essos from Essos. So they must have their own magical creatures.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see some weird stuff if it's in the original story, by the way. Because no, but dragon variety is really interesting. Next episode, I bet my bottom dollar that the trailer already showed it, but there's gonna be dragon battles, like dragon. But that makes me curious though, like how they're gonna film it though. I wish it would be an upgrade from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that it will be because the expectations are up.
Yeah. And another interesting thing is, there's a big difference between Game of Thrones because that's 200 years later, right? Here, I think the big difference is people will know like how to fight dragons.
That too, and also the very fact that the show is called The House of Dragons. I think, we're gonna see some serious dragon action.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see some of those scorpions too from the Triarchy, because they know the Targaryens have dragons. This is not like new information for them. And I don't imagine them like invading those lands without like being prepared. So I do hope we get some like anti-dragon weaponry that is like very medieval.
Yeah, just like what we saw from Game of Thrones.
Because,
if we know that dragons are invincible, then it's kind of boring. It's like using a cheat code on the game.
That is.
It's because they had that scorpion in Game of Thrones that we knew that these dragons were vulnerable, and that made sure that we were watching the show on the edge of our sofa. It's like, oh my god, Dragon, he can't die. Is he gonna get shot? Like the moment the Dothrakis and
Golden Company
and the dragon attacked the Lannisters coming back from the Martells? No, not Martells.
Tyrells.
Yeah, Tyrells.
Yeah. That was a strong episode. But that was But here, I think it's a little different, though. Here, I think the Essos guys are more prepared for dragons because they live with that culture. And any kind of warfare will be interesting, though. It will be interesting. And I wish... I don't know, but I think you said this in the last podcast. They're definitely going to make it more dramatic. Because, dragon is a cheat code, so we do wonder how they're going to... The show, how it's going to present it. You know, because if it's dragon on dragon, we expect it to be like high stakes already. But here, I do wonder like how non-dragon forces will react to dragons. You know, that'll be fascinating. Oh man, but anyway, this was another like strong episode for me. Another very strong episode. I love the political intrigue.
Yeah,
I love the deep dialogues and very, very unique characters. Very characters with different motivations. All commingled together. This is what Game of Thrones was about.
So it was very subtle. It had great dialogues, and it gave us more information on these characters. It showed us more sides of these characters.
I do wonder if we're gonna see some classic like houses again though, like Starks. Like, cause there was just one Stark. I swear, like just like this grandpa. Like, are we gonna see him again? Are we gonna see some like other like the
like the ancestors of the characters?
Yeah. Because that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think
like
they expect us
170 years before.
Yeah. Like, if there's a Lannister or Stark, the Stark is like, hey, I saw a prophecy. 200 later, my bastard. My bastard from my great nutter is gonna save the fucking world. Yeah. Oh Jesus!
And same prophecy with the Lannisters.
Yeah. Oh my God!
It's like your great grandchildren will fuck each other and they're gonna die.
Yeah. I mean, the Hightowers are interesting because they're really absent in the original show, aren't they? We get to see their like capital,
and I think this is kind of like a hint.
Oh, their fall.
We can kind of tell that this house is not going to survive. or they're gonna have a massive dramatic fall.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very difficult for a house to be completely annihilated, but I think it's possible because I think every house dreams of being in King's Landing, have a family member there as a small council or family to the royal house, right? But I think you said it right. I think the Hightower, I mean, they're alive in the Game of Thrones, I think, but their political power is considerably weakened compared to like before. And I do think there are fortunes up and down though, because we never hear about the Velaryons in Game of Thrones. That's true. So that already shows like nothing good is going to happen
what
there.
What happened to them?
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll
out.
Reveal information that we've never known. Like the Velaryons eventually leave King's Landing and they settle somewhere else.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll like start a new spin-off based on that.
Possibly. I also want to see more Baratheons though, because that one Baratheon guy in episode 1 was like not happy
like
about
the one who hesitated
to
bow down, kneel in front of the new heir.
Yeah, I felt like that was a subtle joke on the original theories too, because Baratheons are the rebellious ones, right?
It's like fuck that.
Yeah, fuck the Targaryens. Yeah. But this, I would say this episode was a pleasure for me, equal to the first episode. I can't wait for the next episode. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some battles.
Yeah. And judging from what I've seen from the first and the second episode, I have very high expectation of the third one. And I'm pretty sure that I will be satisfied with it if they keep this up.
Yeah. Man, like I said, like before, this is definitely like a Better Call Saul. Like the subtlety, it's like you can tell the creators like, I'm sure a lot of them were involved in Game of Thrones, but they studied it and knew how to make it better. Yeah, and they thought deeply over it.
And this is obviously very difficult because compared to shows like Better Call Saul, this involves so many even more characters, and it's not just individual. It's this faction, this faction element that makes it even more delicate to handle. And they still have that limited time.
I do wish, like, after the season is done, after 10 episodes, I wish they showed us the deleted scenes. Like, I bet they film more than they're showing us now.
I wonder if they would ever make, like, a director's cut for TV shows. Because,
hard to imagine, though.
We have those for movies, but since, it's no longer airing on like TV, they're all airing on streaming services. Can't they just come up with like a director's cut for TV shows?
No, but I think a TV will be called showrunner's cut. No. But I think TV is just more. I don't know nothing about like TV or movie, whatever. All I know is what I read. But I think TVs are just more of a collaborative project than a movie, though. In a movie, like directors are usually the dictator. But here, I think it's more of a collaborative project. And I think the time constraint is also very different, though. Like, anyway, I'm going to give this episode... should we give a grade?
I would give it like a 9 out of 10.
Me too.
Yeah, I really like this.
Yeah. It's almost a 10 for me. Almost a 10. I can't reiterate how I'm impressed with the pacing.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with the pacing. Never bored. Like, full of... contextual thing. It's
just enough tension.
I think the each episode will probably have different directors or coming back directors, but the direction is on point. It's really fascinating. Oh, and I love I love the surprise at the end, because that was such a Game of Thrones thing to do and the TV show thing to do. And
against all odds, like, oh my god,
he
chose Alicent.
Yeah. The face acting by Rhaenyra was amazing. That actor is amazing. That betrayal. When I said you can marry again, I didn't say my best fucking friend.
Dad, are you out of your mind?
But like, I think we talked about this. This is a family drama, but it's a family drama of powerful people. So everything they do is just the Earthshake move to the realm. Yeah. Anyway, that was, I think, our take on House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 2. If you have similar thoughts,
any ideas, comments,
please leave a comment and then share it with us. If you like our video, please press like and subscribe. And next week, we will talk about Episode 3. And She-Hulk, we are going to talk after the whole season is done.
Yeah.
Because we've been watching it
at the moment, but
the episodes are too short.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it yet. not nice things. But we have to judge it, I think, after the whole thing. Though. It's too short. Anyway, that's it, guys. See you next week. Thank you so much. This has been Joe.
This has been Wonjin.
Jojen Movie so awesome, baby.
Bye-bye.
Jojen Movie so great, baby. Jojen Movie the great, baby. Psh, psh.